Do you wish your kids were more responsible, that they could kind of take care of themselves instead of relying on you all the time? One of the ways we do that is by talking to kids about three levels of thinking and recognizing this because it changes the way we parent. Level number one is the self focused kind of thinking that we all have. We think about what we want or what we're doing right now. We're so focused on what we're doing right now, we're not thinking about level two thinking. So, level thinking is about ourselves and what we want or what we're doing right now. The level two thinking asks different questions about life. It's asked questions like, what do other people think about what I'm doing right now? Or what time is it? Or what else is on my schedule I need to do today? Or what do people think about the sounds I'm making while I'm playing on this iPad? It's all of those things that ask different questions for children, and it helps them move to what we call this level two or responsibility thinking. When children learn to ask different questions about life, it moves them in a direction that's so powerful. So we want children to move in that direction. It requires some training in the lives of our kids. So we're going to talk about this level two thinking and the different questions that you need to ask yourself before you go back to playing with your Legos or before you go back to listening to your headphones or whatever it might be. I want you to ask some questions. What are those questions? Like, how much is good for me? Time should I be spending on listening to this music? Or is this music a good thing for me to do? So all of those kind of questions are the level two kinds of questions that we want children to embrace in their lives. Now, there is a level three kinds of thinking, and let me tell you about that before we go back and work on this a little bit more. But level three thinking is, what does God think about this? It's another way of thinking, and it's so great when even young children start thinking about, what does God think about this, or how is God working in our world today? You want children to start thinking about these things, and then you teach them how to ask questions. Like at the end of their day, how did you see God work today? Is a great question for young people and children to ask. I mean, if it's Sunday, we all know God works on Sunday, but what about Monday? Did God work on Monday? Yes, He works. He works through the beauty of creation, that He reveals something through His Word. He reminds us of something that we might have forgotten, or He brings us in contact with something that we need. I mean, God does all kinds of things to work in our lives today. And so asking that level three question can help our children develop that kind of thinking in their lives. But level two is really what builds the responsibility in children. So we want to look for ways to increase the level two thinking in our children's lives, because it will help them to grow and help them to think differently about the challenges they're experiencing. So we're working on this to increase this level two thinking. Think in terms of responsibility, because it really builds a sense of something more is going on here. Let me share a scripture with you in Philippians chapter 2, verses 3 and 4, which is a great passage of scripture for all of us to memorize, including children. It says, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather," and now we're thinking about level two thinking, "in humility value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of others." That's level two thinking, you see. It's just one of the ways we move to level two thinking is to think about other people. Another way we move to level two thinking is to think about our other tasks and responsibilities we have. And so we want our children to move away from their self-focused thinking. So you can just use those words, which are more neutral than saying selfish. You can say, are you on level one thinking now? Or are you on level two thinking? And we're drawing attention to that idea for children. And when they understand that there's a different way to think, there's other responsibilities that they can be doing, there's other responsibilities they have to other people, then it starts to build this sense of responsibility, because children are learning to think on level two. A very important part of a child's development, and the way we parent is very important, because it can draw children into that level two thinking that will help them to grow significantly in their responsibility level.